You hear? Safe. Must tend it. Open your... Please.
Someone, and...
Please.
You can't leave us! Not like this! If you do, I'll never forgive you! So come on! Open your eyes and get up!
Are you with us? Oh, thank the heavens. For a moment we thought...
Is everyone all right? I'm really alive. Is everyone all right?
After what you've done, you're the last person to be asking that. You... How can you keep your promise if you're not here?
Another fine show you've put on, my friend.
A fine show indeed. What were you thinking, fighting alone? Never do that again. My poor heart couldn't bear it.
Put yourself in our place. If you hadn't returned, how do you think we would feel? And if that sounds harsh, it's because we care.
We tended to thy wounds as best we could. But how is the pain? That is gladdening. Grievous as thine injuries were, however, I would counsel repose for a time.
Gladdening! There's nothing gladdening about this. When Meteion appeared in here and told us that you were right behind her, we all got our hopes up. But you never came. And when you finally deigned to appear, you're within an ilm of your life. Damn you! Damn you for making us worry!
Oh, those were cries of celebration! Anyway, well, the important thing is that you're all alive and in reasonably good health, and we mean to get you back that way. As for your earlier request, I'm quite certain we're in range to make contact now.
Ah, excellent. Let us announce our return at once. I hope you're ready.
While you were unconscious, we set out from Ultima Thule, you see. Can you stand? If so, you may wish to see what's outside. We're home, my friend. We're home.
Is that? It is! It's the Ragnarok! They're back!
Thank heavens.
Truly.
They've done it!
Welcome home.
Sorry.
Yes!
Welcome home, everyone! Welcome home!
Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker. Alright, we're gonna let the credits play.
Dearest mother, dearest father, this letter will be the very last that I write to you from the rising stones. As I commit these words to parchment, I fondly recall my journey as a scion. From the time I first walked into the Order's former halls, to the time I set forth to forestall the final days. At the farthest reaches of the Sea of Stars, we fought the battle of our lives. Fought against despair itself, a veritable maelstrom of it, fed by the resignation that dwelled in the hearts of beings not so unlike ourselves. Full oft have I harbored the same malaise. Have I been brought to my knees, crushed by the weight of sorrow and defeat, convinced that I will never rise again. However, I have also known many moments of unbridled joy and happiness. By this truth do I find hope within, blooming resplendent, like the Elpis flower. And thus do I endure. Do I look forward to creating more memories with my friends and loved ones. For from these fertile seeds, yet more hope shall spring forth. And they will grow to become shining lights that illuminate the dark. Thus believing, I leave the rising stones behind, as will my comrades. For, as we have decided, after careful deliberation, we are disbanding the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
There you are, Alphino. Everyone is already gathered in the foyer.
My apologies. I'll be right there. At least, that is what the story will be. Sorry to keep you all waiting.
What could you possibly have left to do now?
Oh, just a letter.
I imagine it will be a while before we can gather like this again.
So it must be, if we're to keep up appearances. From now on, it falls to the Grand Company of Eorzea and its allies to deal with the realm's crises.
Meanwhile, we shall return to our erstwhile ways. Retreating from plain sight, to take our place in the shadows once more.
Indeed. For the foreseeable future, I expect that we must work independently as we seek out problems that want for solving. But a day will come when we face another great challenge, and we will face it together, as we always have.
As much as I look forward to that day, I do hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
Well, formal association or no, if any of you should require my services, you need but ask. I'll be glad to keep my lance arm honed.
I'll hold you to that. So you had better keep your link pearl on hand.
So you really mean to stay, Tataru?
Oh, someone has to keep the Rising Stones in proper order. And even a super-secret organization requires a super-secret base of operations. To the rest of the world, it will be naught more than a workshop for Eorzea's foremost up-and-coming artisan. If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait till I can devote myself wholly to the crafts.
Plotting to build a mercantile empire to rival that of Lord Lodorito, are we?
I, for one, look forward to your future successes, Tataru, as do I our next meeting.
And with that, I believe it is past time you all made ready to depart. Leave no preparations undone or words unsaid, all right? Now, off with you.
Speak with your comrades. Guess we gotta talk to everybody. Thou hast spoken with our comrades. This parting be not forevermore, 'tis nonetheless occasion for sorrow, akin to a pixie's path. The navigation of such farewells is a perilous endeavor indeed. For their part, however, the Loporrits embark upon a new beginning. Though bereft of its purpose as a vessel, the moon yet remaineth hospitable for creatures of Vitherus. Thus do our lunar visitors convene with the Forum, intent upon assigning some new and beneficial role to our solitary satellite. Yet ere that may come to pass, there is much and more each party must learn of the other, a process which doth promise to be eventful indeed. To that end, a cadre of Loporrits hath gleefully dispersed across all lands in the name of mutual understanding. Eidolon, 'tis said, did imbue them with her love for all things born of this star. It is Vanar's own nature, I believe, which doth manifest in this irrepressible, inexhaustible curiosity of theirs. Having witnessed that which they strove to achieve, I wish most keenly for their long labors to be rewarded, that their abiding affection for man result in a boon for all. Moreover, I hope to continue our acquaintance and share in such knowledge as they see fit to impart. Acquaintance, I'd call it friendship. You are the first to truly understand them. I did not wish to presume. I would be honored should they consider me a friend. For it is certainly true that I have grown fond of their company. Is he going to the moon? But I shall digress no further. This day should belong to the scions of the seventh dawn, to mine incomparable companions. Oftentimes hath mine reticence caused thee grief, and mine actions spurred allies to suspect betrayal. Yet here amongst you I still stand. No amount of words could express my gratitude for thine acceptance and forgiveness. Thus instead I do proffer my humble support. Be it unto the deepest abyss or highest heavens, even if I must needs founder across stormy seas, ever shall I answer thy summons. Seen to your preparations, have you? I'm just making another sweep of my belongings. Wouldn't do to find I've forgotten something halfway to my destination. Oh, in case you hadn't heard, we've received new reports detailing the devastation caused by the final days. It appears the situation is gravest in the land surrounding the Bounty, where the sky first began to burn. After that, the calamity was observed in the far north, in Garlemald and the frozen lands beyond. We also had reports of the heavens catching fire in isolated locations, one of which was an area in the northern Empty. Had our quest taken any longer, Charlian too may have come under threat. Thank goodness it's over now. To be sure, blasphemies and lesser beasts may still be roaming about, but these localized crises should be well within the capacities of each nation to handle on their own. The Scions are no longer needed. Isn't to say that we won't help out where we can, of course, as individuals know more of this order business. For my part, I'll be heading to Garlemald with Alpha Node. They were among the worst affected and still need all the help they can get. It won't be easy. An inevitable part of aiding those in need is coming face to face with tragedy. Knowing it doesn't make it any easier, though, that'll curse my weakness, my inability to fix every problem and save every lost soul. No matter how much it hurts, I won't give up. I'll do what I can for as many people as I can, begrudging or no effort. And should I find myself discouraged, I'll remember you, think back fondly to one of your many moments of triumph and the accompanying determined expression. Even those that still annoy me in retrospect, like when you activated the teleporter without warning. Did you hear about me? I want you to remember too. Remember that I'm out there somewhere trying my very best. I look forward to hearing all about the legendary Alizé Leveillé. Think you can keep up with me? Hey, you asked for it, so you had better watch out. Oh, yes. Next time we meet, I'll be vastly improved, so don't be surprised when you find yourself marveling at me. Pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing a letter, you see, to my parents. Busy as father has been tending to the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concern for the Scions. Besides, I've made them worry enough for a lifetime. Henceforth, I will endeavor to write as often as I am able. Little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Charlian. Both Alizé and I are off to assist with Garlemald's recovery, you see. Though uncertainty remains over what will become of the nation, we cannot well leave the capital in its present state. We will rejoin those members of the Ilsabard contingent still stationed there. Lucia and Maxima helm the relief effort with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald among them. We will gradually be joined by those who have finished treating the temperate across the lands. Lest you misunderstand, we do not seek redemption for failing Lucinia and her sister. This is a burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because the truth in Lord Quintus's words. The truth that whatever ideals individuals may espouse, nations are not moved to action unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the fallen empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces. Though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, with greater powers involved in the relief effort, our allies may well find themselves drawn into political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first, to understand their hearts, and that we might better help them to begin anew. That's right to me, too. I'll visit when I can. By all means, full glad would I be for your visit, and believe I speak for Alizé as well. Fairly as long as I've been in Eorzea, you've been at my side, watching over me in good times and in bad. Many times have we gathered to share tidings, none could possibly keep count. The world is changing and will continue to do so, yet no matter what the future brings, I hope that I can ever look to you. In good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and dear friend both. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. How are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? Can't apologize enough for sending Xenos to find you in Ultima Thule. When he came to me in Charlie and I was truly torn, as ever, there was only one thing on his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, he might at least aid us in our cause, and so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, it could have ended very differently. My decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. It worked out, you did the right thing. I won't lie, I thought that was it for me. It is a relief to hear you say that, thank you. Time and time again, I've been made to feel woefully inadequate. I wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the Forum without my nerves getting the better of me. It always fell to you and the others. I must and will do better. I shall begin with the restoration of the students of Baldesion. Through our work, Charlian will strengthen its ties with other nations that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in the future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Ojika and our other remaining members. Together we'll continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. Such times might you be willing to assist us, not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel a lure for the task itself. Marvelous. Should something of interest arise, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Till that day, I shall endeavor to become a more dependable comrade. Ah, our champion and savior. I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours, and the rest of you for that matter. On the mend, I trust. Glad to hear it. You were in a bad way, and healing magics or no, I'm impressed by how swiftly you've recovered. Then again, 'tis hardly the first time you've cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you've accomplished. Meteon defeated, her Song of Oblivion cut short, the source and all her reflections delivered from the final days. If you had faltered at the last, then all hope would have been lost, but you've held fast. Now Reen has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I could ask for no greater gift than that. As for a lesser gift, however, the next time you see her, I would appreciate you not describing my travel plans with Urianger as aimless wandering. We have a purpose in our roaming, after all, keeping an eye on things in the absence of the scions on the world stage. There'll never be an end to the little problems that go unattended by nations. We will do our best to help out where and when we can. I suppose it's an approach not far removed from aimless wandering when you get down to it. Perhaps you could tell her I'm faring well and leave it at that, eh? No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. Never been one to stand still for long, but when I think of home, 'tis the Rising Stones which comes to mind. How many times have we set out from this base, thence to return when our work was done? The day the Scions came together, I only hoped for Menvelia to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, I have a question for you, and imagine Menvelia herself is asking. Are you glad you joined the Scions? Best decision I've ever made. There's never a dull moment, that's for certain. That's one way of putting it. In many ways, the experience has left us far stronger than when we began. All good things must come to an end, at least for a time. If you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running, and you'll likely get a certain funny-talking fortune teller into the bargain. Loquacious as ever. If you have something to say, then out with it. Just worried how you'll earn your keep now. Just wondering how I'll earn my keep now. You talk as if the Scion's disillusion was more than mere pretense. There may be fewer calls to action, but we should be compensated as before. Why are you so concerned for me anyway? In any case, I do not want for options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner did Amaric hear about our disbandment than he offered me a position as a guardsman in the Imperium district. As a former Azure Dragoon, I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. Who does he take me for? Even without his meddling, I'm perfectly capable of finding employment, and have. Some days ago, a Hannish envoy arrived with word from Vertra. The worm requests my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons, like as not. In Thavnair, like elsewhere, the phenomenon caused by the final days abated when you defeated Meteon. But it was too late for those who had already transformed. Life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors. For those who sought refuge in Charlian, most have already returned home. Many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Vertra and the Forum, such souls may remain in Charlian if they wish, to work and study. Vertra was always a satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well. One who has the complete confidence of his people, if the envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favorably of dragons of late. Not so long ago, I would have assumed his benevolence hid ulterior motives, but 'tis clear he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. No such a nation may flourish is comforting. Vertra's kin sought release from conflict, so weary were they of the suffering it wrought, they surrendered to oblivion. Midgard Sormer didn't give up, and hope he made the journey to distant Aetheris with his clutch of eggs. Though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, there were times when they transcended hatred to abide in harmony. That is their legacy and their triumph. In my lance, I feel the weight of their struggle and the strength of their resolve, and it lends me strength. These things I might never have learned had I not joined you. Should you ever have need of me, I will come. At the very least, it might be an opportunity to earn coin. Might you have a moment to talk? With the Scion stepping away from the public eye, I've been left to consider what new endeavors I might pursue. After speaking with Growel, I've decided I will be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Baldesion. Not only am I indebted to Master Galoo for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would have never set foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. I would have never met you, never become caretaker of the tower, never become a Scion. You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps, mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise to embark on a new adventure together unlike any we've experienced before. Whenever you have time and inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you into the unknown. Do you recall the realm of the Omicrons when I asked if you thought I may someday be mentioned in your epic? While 'tis true that to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams, in the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. It needn't be some grand endeavor, there needn't be a promise. Whenever adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you, and I hope that you will do the same for me. Without a second thought, as long as you don't overexert yourself. He has a tendency to want to sacrifice himself, doesn't he? I know, I can all but hear Lena and Beckluck's voice each time you remind me. As much as we have already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows, perhaps we'll even encounter survivors of the Omicron somewhere out there. After all, given how they took to the stars, it isn't implausible that some found themselves far from home. Should we encounter a wayward traveler awaiting commands that will never come, I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with that partner find new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can hold fast to dreams, why not Omicrons? Wherever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you will be the first to know. Oh, are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I am averse to a moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I'd been meaning to ask you, something that has been in my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. During our travels, we have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles, more than can be easily recalled or remembered. Nestled amongst those memories are certain essential facts, the history of Aetheris and the ancients, glimpses of Ea, of their culture and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in my mind, I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records for wider consumption. When needed, I have penned reports and prepared briefings, but ever have I balked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies in a book or tablet. Truth is given shape and interpretation. When we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably molded to fit a narrative, no matter how well-intentioned the rendering. An event is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity, yet the word on the page is what endures, a pale shadow of reality. Throughout history, some have deliberately embellished the truth, but I believe many, if not most, deviations are the result of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling one upon the other until the end result is unrecognizable from its origin. This is why I feel that writing an account in my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet even with the potential for corrupted meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. What would say you on this matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them for posterity? Aye, let them be read and remembered. It's enough to hold them in your memories. Very well, then I shall endeavor to pen what I can of the Ea, and the ancients, and of so many other wonders. But I am no scribe, it will be less a polished work and more a reordering of scattered notes. In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads. After all, a safe method of travel to the first yet eludes me, and our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble into the unknown or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, know that I am at your beck and call. Never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different than most. Where are you, Tataru? spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. Leave the Rising Stones? Your permission, then. Your attention, please. At risk of spoiling the mood, the time of departure is upon us. My capacity as your receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next we meet. Be well. Level 90, Endwalker. Complete.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library. And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlayan before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to Rads at Han, will you not?
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
Quite right.
Indeed.
Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?
Stand tall, my friend. Our journey will never end.
The constancy of this place never ceases to amaze me. An ocean of souls, shimmering and eternal. And yet, something stirs. Yes. Steeped in darkness, deep as starless night. The beast hungers. Alas, I dare not investigate in earnest before the coming of my guiding star, as she foretold. We shall descend to the depths, you and I, to confront the dread beast Pandemonium.
Oh, is that the raid?
Oh, the sights we shall see. The sights we shall see.
You've completed the main scenario quest Endwalker. Quests to unlock new content have now become available in Old Charlian. Additionally, you may now enter the dead ends with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, open the Trust interface located under Duty in the main menu. Rest well, Champion of Aetheris, for many and more adventures await you. New chapter New Game Plus has been added. That its chorus might ring for all, achievement unlocked.